Chapter 1: The Silent Zone. In the vast stillness of the Pacific Ocean, the Abyss Glider, a state-of-the-art deep-sea exploration submersible, plunged into the darkening blue. Leon, the sharp-minded engineer, Marco, the ever-curious geologist, Rico, who never missed a moment with her underwater camera, and their leader, Aiden, a stoic yet empathetic oceanographer. They were heading to a depth that few humans had ever dared to reach the southern edge of the Mariana Trench, where sunlight had long given up trying to reach. Everything seemed stable. The descent was smooth, systems were optimal, and the exterior, cameras showed nothing but layers of quiet blue fading into black. Then the sensors screamed. "Pressure spike, coming from the southeast ridge," shouted Leon. Aiden gripped the controls, stabilize. Everyone, brace for impact. Suddenly the sub shook violently as if a giant hand had slammed the ocean floor. A deep rumble passed through the vessel's hull. Marco glanced at the seismic monitor. "It's a tectonic shift, a big one." Within seconds, the ocean around them began to churn. Sediment rose like a sandstorm underwater. And then it struck. A massive surge of water pressure, invisible but crushing, slammed into them from the side. The Abyss Glider rolled and groaned as metal strained against the impossible weight of water. They were in the path of an underwater tsunami, not a surface wave, but a deep-sea monster created by a sudden earthquake on the ocean floor. Unlike surface tsunamis, these waves of pressure don't rise above the water but expand in pulses through the sea itself, devastating everything in their way. Alarms blared, warning lights flickered red. Hannah closed her eyes and whispered a prayer. "Main thrusters offline," Leon called out. "Aiden, we're dropping fast," Rico muttered, her voice barely above a whisper. Aiden clenched his jaw. "Ballast purge now. Emergency flotation." With a hiss and a jolt, the emergency air tanks expelled compressed gas, counteracting the plunge. The Abyss Glider slowly righted itself, rising just above the wave's deadly pulse. When the shaking stopped and the water calmed, no one spoke for a full minute. Then Hannah finally exhaled, her voice trembling. "That wasn't in any textbook." "No," Aiden said quietly. "Because most who saw it didn't live to tell." The silence returned, but now it felt different, heavier. The team had just learned the first lesson of the deep down. Here, the ocean doesn't whisper. It roars without warning. Chapter 2: False Light. Night had no meaning here. In the blackness of the deep, there was no sunrise, no sunset, only pressure, cold, and silence. As Abyss Glider drifted further into the trench, the crew spotted something strange on the monitors. Tiny lights. Blue. Faint. floating like stars. "They're beautiful," Rico murmured, raising her camera. But Hannah's expression turned pale. "No, that's not beauty, it's bait." Before anyone could react, the lights multiplied. Dozens. Then hundreds. They circled the submersible like an underwater war. But beneath those flickers, the camera caught a glimpse of something moving. Long, slender, with translucent skin and rows of tiny teeth glowing faintly in the dark. "Aiden," Hannah said firmly, "those are predators. They use light to lure prey in the darkness. Get us out of here, now." Leon activated the reverse thrusters, but the sub shook. "They're interfering with our magnetic field," he said. "I think they're emitting pulses, deliberate interference." Outside, one of the creatures brushed the hull. It had a serpentine body, fins that waved like torn cloth, and multiple bioluminescent nodules along its spine. Its mouth opened slowly, revealing rings of inward-bending teeth. "I think it's scanning us," Marco whispered. Suddenly, a shriek pierced through the sonar. "Cut it off," Aiden ordered. Leon hit the release mechanism. The robotic arm detached and was swallowed into the black, vanishing in seconds. The sub surged backward, narrowly avoiding the second ambush. The glowing swarm began to scatter as quickly as it had come. For a moment, the darkness returned. But this time, they welcomed it. Chapter 3: The Sinking Earth. After the terrifying escape from the glowing predators, Abyss Glider resumed its descent cautiously. The lights were off now, leaving only instrument readings and the faint hum of the subsystems. Everyone was still shaken, but duty kept them alert. Marco, eyes fixed on the seafloor scanner, narrowed his gaze. "There's something strange ahead. The terrain is ... unstable." Aiden moved closer. "Define and stable." Marco adjusted the scanner's resolution. "There are voids under the seabed. Massive ones. It looks like the crust here is hollow." Before he could finish the sentence, the seafloor cracked open. A roaring cloud of silt erupted below. Plates of rock buckled inward. An immense abyssal sinkhole had just opened up right beneath them. The sub lurched downward as the current pulled them toward the collapsing center. Engage vertical thrusters. Full power, Hayden commanded. Leon slammed the controls. The engines worked, but it wasn't enough. The pull was too strong. Debris, sand, rocks, even chunks of coral were swirling into the dark hole like water down a drain. "We're losing altitude," Rico shouted. 12 meters per second and accelerating. The sinkhole wasn't just pulling, it was expanding. The sinkhole wasn't just pulling, it was expanding. Then the proximity alarm screamed. A massive slab of rock was falling toward the sub from above. Brace for impact. The rock clipped the sub's rear hull, sending a metal shearing screech through the chamber. Systems blinked out. For a moment, they were blind. Leon shouted over the alarm, "We are venting pressure. Hull's compromised. Seal off rear compartments," Aiden barked. With a loud hiss, the doors locked. Emergency foam filled the ruptured chamber. And just then silence. The pulling stopped. They weren't falling anymore. They hovered, barely balanced, just outside the sinkhole's event horizon. And below them, the black abyss waited open, silent, eternal. Chapter 3: The Sinking Earth. The crew hovered in the uneasy quiet after escaping the abyssal sinkhole. Outside, a haunting stillness settled over the trench, like a held breath. Even the ocean currents seemed to stop moving. Scanning for stable ground, Marco muttered. "We need to land and run diagnostics." They descended slowly onto a flat sediment shelf. Hannah noticed strange ridges on the seafloor, long, parallel, and slightly raised. "Looks like something's been digging here," she murmured. Leon released a small rover drone to collect samples. It skittered across the silty ground, its mechanical arm scooping up particles and sending back data. Then it stopped. Static buzzed through the feed. "Wait," Anna leaned in. "Why did it stop?" Suddenly, a blur shot up from the seafloor. The drone vanished in an instant, snatched downward. All that remained was a cloud of disturbed sediment. A second later, something moved in the dust. A massive, segmented body, part worm, part nightmare, emerged from the sand. It was nearly 4 meters long, with bristling appendages and a pair of mandibles snapping open like scissors. Its head shimmered with iridescent colors, confusing the eye. "Bobbit worm," Hannah whispered. "But this one is prehistoric." The creature lunged, crashing into the sub's observation shield. Everyone screamed as the front lights illuminated its glistening armor-like skin. Its mandibles clicked loudly, strong enough to sever bone or metal. "Back us up, now," Aiden shouted. Leon reversed the thrusters, but the worm coiled around part of the front arm. It began to pull slowly, steadily. "It's anchoring us," Marco warned. "It's anchoring us," Marco warned. "It's anchoring us," Marco warned. Leon activated the sub's acoustic pulse. A high-frequency wave shot through the water. The worm writhed in agony, releasing the hull and retreating into the sand with terrifying speed. They didn't wait to see if it would return. Chapter 5: Lightning Below. The deep had calmed again, but tension inside of his bladder ran high. Every encounter chipped away at their nerves. Yet the team pressed forward. Science, after all, demanded more than courage. It demanded sacrifice. The terrain changed. From soft, silk-covered plains, they entered a jagged field of basalt spires. Black stone columns rose like broken teeth from the ocean floor. "This area shows signs of geothermal activity," Marco said, examining sensor data. "Hydrothermal vents nearby. Could be unstable." Just then, a blinding flash streaked across the viewport. Not from the surface but from below. "What the did anyone see that?" Rico gasped. Another flash. Then another. Bolts of glowing blue electricity surged through the water, like lightning, except they didn't vanish. They lingered in shimmering, slow arcs. "Leon, is that natural?" Aiden asked. "No idea. I've read about deep-sea electrical discharges, but nothing this intense. It's plasma, not lightning, electrified water reacting with mineral vents." The sub's external sensors began to flicker. Screens scrambled, lights blinked erratically. "We're getting electromagnetic interference," Leon yelled. "The plasma arcs are disrupting our systems." Outside, threads of blue lightning slithered across the basalt columns, leaping from rock to rock. The water itself looked alive. "We have to pull back," Hannah warned. "If we drift too close, the current could surge through the hull." Aiden hesitated. "We're in a minefield made of lightning." Then a plasma arc struck the seafloor just meters away. The impact exploded in a brilliant blue bloom, shaking the sub violently.